So Melanie, here's a fun fact about Bob Ezrin. When Blair Packham, lead singer, founder of the Jitters, his early demos were produced by Bob Ezrin. So,
I did not know that.
Yeah, but Bob Ezrin.
It's not a surprise.
That's
not a surprise.
Think of the big three, I would say. The Wall, Alice Cooper, Blair Packham.
Totally sounds right.
The big three. All right, so congrats again on the Ukulele U and Doane Music School. Are you comfortable with going back in the time machine? And let's talk a little bit about your, career as a pop star. Is that cool?
Love it.
Okay, so before I press play on this first jam and we talk about, it sounds like your dad inspired you, but we'll get more of the origin story and find out a bit more about your career. I do want to tell you, in my freezer upstairs, Melanie Doane, is a large frozen lasagna that was sent over here by Palma Pasta. You can take that home with you.
What? Yep. No way.
You thought it was just beer, but it's actually beer and lasagna.
Wow.
And
so great.
A measuring tape for you, Melanie Doane, from Ridley Funeral Home, and they're pillars of this community, and they've been here in New Toronto since 1921.
Really? 1921?
Yeah, I was just a kid back then, Melanie. So.
Yeah, you were just a little sparkle in someone's eye.
Yeah, my great-great-grandfather. Okay, so speaking of going way back, this guy was around a long time ago. Let's play a little bit of this.
Once upon a time I was just a little bone. I was just a little tiny rib, and the rib cage was my home. Some days I wonder how it would feel to be my own person, to eat my own meals. I never had to make a plan, just be a little piece of a bigger man. And Adam rocked my world, I was his biggest fan. No such thing as being a girl, he had the whole world in his hands.
Okay, Melanie, we didn't go back to the very beginning, but this was your first hit.
It was the first one that really opened some doors, for sure.
So this is not your first album either. So can you take us back even further? Basically, give us a bit of the Melanie Doane origin story when it comes to your music career.
Well, I wasn't planning to do it, so that's interesting. I went to music school, and then I got a gig at Neptune Theatre and suddenly was doing theatre. This is all in Halifax. So I did that for a few years and then moved to Toronto to continue, I thought, probably doing some of this acting and theatre, although I was a musician. I was a trained musician, but I had such a respect for musicians, having grown up around all the way we did grow up with people from all over the world coming to see my dad's program. And I just revered the musician. I just thought, well, I could never be a musician. But of course, I didn't know much about the acting world and theater people, so I was much more ignorant and had more confidence to go that way because I didn't know any better, which was very helpful, really. Anyway, eventually, after doing many interesting theater things, something took me to Broadway at one point because I played instruments, but I could also be an actor and whatever. That happened, and then I was playing as a sideman for many different people. Eventually, I realized, this is like going across Canada in a van is a lot of work when it's not even your music. And I started to kind of get it in my head, like, well, I think maybe I have something to say. So that got me going. Having already worked for many years and really honed my professionalism, I was a real pro and a sideman, and I had a lot of experience, but then started to write. And then it sort of happened kind of quickly. I made an EP, I got signed, I made a record with Sony that did not have commercial success.
Oh, Shakespearean Fish.
Yes, that's right. Although we did it did well, but it wasn't at that time. You needed to be selling 100,000 records.
Well, you needed a hit.
You needed a hit, and you needed to be you didn't need a hit though, because in those days there was more development. You could develop, which is something that young artists don't get anymore. But anyway, that's another topic. I didn't have a hit. It was a low key, beautiful album. I still love it, but I needed a hit. Anyway, luckily I got another chance to make another album. I had learned a lot of lessons. I went to LA on a writing trip and connected with a producer who ended up being a very dear friend and writing partner, still a dear friend and writing partner, Rick Nair. And we wrote a slew of things that got things up over the top for me.
So it's almost like you're Alanis Morissette and you found your Glenn Ballard out there. Let's collaborate.
Let's call it that story.
That's a good story too. Okay, so what did Rick add to the mix though that would take you from a talented musician to somebody who's going to get on top 40 radio?
Do you know he cared about me, and he said, "Oh well, you know what you're doing." I hadn't had that validation before, and that's only. I don't want to say why exactly, but I hadn't been with a producer of his caliber up until that point. And a real producer can hear all the stuff and say, "Oh yeah, this is, you know what you're doing. You're a writer. You can sing. You want to write string parts. You're going to make arrangements for. You play violin. Great. You can do all that." He was all about it and lifted me up versus someone who says, "Oh well, I always tinker with people's lyrics, or I always do this." And you're like, really? I don't think that's what, and I'm pretty sure that isn't how it should be. I had been down the road with many different things, and this was just so many miles ahead of all of that. And that's, it's a long climb to get to those places where you're with the real deal people. And that's what he is. He was the real deal.
Okay, so we just played Adam's Rib.
Yeah,
which is from the album you made with Rick, and top 40 hits. So I am curious. So are you living in LA at this time? Or are you still based in Canada?
I just went back and forth. I was in Toronto mostly. My husband at the time was doing a show in New York. We were kind of all over. He's a theater person, and so we had an interesting time of lots of travel and doing things like that, but mainly based out of Toronto.
What radio stations in Toronto might have played Adam's Rib?
I'm going to have trouble with that.
Is it Chum FM?
It wasn't at first. We came out with Adam's Rib with the idea to go to rock radio, and it went into a top 20 hit on rock radio. And we figured if we could get rock radio first, then if we came with the next bunch of singles, we would have it would cross over, which is what happened. So we aimed at rock radio, and it was the mix eventually was in there.
Absolutely.
But who would have been the rock radio at that
Q107
time?
was
I
the
think
big
it
rock
must
radio
have
station?
been. I think it must have been, but who? I don't know. I'm trying to say.
No, I mean, so 98, the stations playing rock in this market, new rock anyways, would have been 102.1 The Edge was playing new rock. And Q107 was still, I think, in 98 was still, if they haven't gone, eventually they go like greatest hits or whatever.
I think they did add it, and I think the mix was out in front of everyone, although it wasn't particularly a rock station. We ended up in the top 20.
They would play, we just mentioned Alanis Morissette.
Sure.
Like Mix 99.9 would play a lot of You Ought to Know.
Yeah. And it was Wayne Webster, who was a real champion. So
he just retired.
I know he did. And I was busy at a school doing a school concert and couldn't get over there to give him So congratulations to Wayne, who's always been a wonderful friend of mine.
He came over for an episode and was great. But what I learned very quickly is he's a soft-spoken man.
Yeah.
So it's like, I was gonna give him a couple of Red Bulls and see. But that's Wayne, and he's like a legend. So
he sure is.
Congrats on your retirement, FOTM Wayne Webster. So when you're touring to support this album, and what's the name of this second album? What's the name of this album?
Adam's Rib.
That makes complete sense. Okay, so this is where you're touring with people like the aforementioned Jan Arden.
Yeah, we did a long tour with Jan, which was so amazing, and we were on Lilith Fair a couple of 2 years in a row, which was amazing. Of course, I toured with the Philosopher Kings many times, long tours with them. We were all on the same label, so that was a thing,
right?
To collaborate that way. Or anyway, that's partly why it happened.
You know who was just here 2 weeks ago? Alan Doyle was here.
Oh well,
And you played with
yeah. Well, we did a 40 dates with Alan and the boys, which is a wonderful wonderful memory and great times, as you can imagine.
Well, they taught you how to party.
I did not. The joke was that we opened for them. I was on the bus. I was really into knitting at the time, and we had TV. TV on a bus was we had cable on the bus. Wow. This was a big deal. Yeah. And I remember it's like, oh, it's a Brady Bunch marathon. And I would be back on the bus having my dinner, Great Big Seas going on. The boys, my band would be like waiting to go out with everyone.
Oh, that's funny.
And I would get up at 9 and do radio or whatever, and I had to sing every night. I was very professional.
No, you were very responsible.
No, I had come from theater. You don't do 8 shows a week by dicking around. Like, you just don't.
And that kind of commitment to professionalism earns you a Juno Award for New Artist of the Year.
Yeah, new. Quotes, new. But that's how it goes, and that's okay. I was very grateful, and what a fun thing to have a Juno.
Well, again, I feel like now, forget Bob Willett. This is the Alanis Morissette episode, because she was like new artist with Jagged Little Pill. But of course, she wasn't a new artist.
No.
Like, she was a pop, no.
And who cares? But you know what? That's what it takes sometimes. And if you're lucky enough to get the development to go through however many things you got to do. I mean, I got to tour Canada with other artists and then make an EP and make a whole album on a major label that didn't really break through. And I still got another chance to do another album. I mean, that's unheard of.
Well, yeah, amazing. And I think I know this. Michael Sadler is just on the show, and he founded a band called Saga. And Saga got like the same award from the Junos, and they were like 6 albums deep or something like that.
Yeah, and in those days, you really could go 6 or 7 before you had a hit. I mean, that's really the way it used to be, which is, really as it should be. Artists need to develop.
Well, I feel like maybe a couple of minutes on that. So what advice would you give a new artist today? They're not giving you the time to develop today.
You know what? It's so confusing. I wish I knew how to give good advice. My own kids are musicians, and all I can really impart to them is to be good and to love what you do, and learn to be a pro. Take care of if you're singing, know how to take care of your body and your voice. Play as many instruments as you can. Be proficient, and write good stuff and get out there and I mean, it's really every week it's something. It's a new way of doing it. I don't know how to do it, but I know that if you're good, that is the main thing, and then you'll enjoy it. I mean, for me, it's a lifelong thing, and it's your passion. Why I work with kids in the first place is that it's not so much that I'm like, oh, I hope this kid will go on The Voice and make my school look like a great thing, like I taught them something. Who cares if someone's a soloist? I happen to turn out to be a soloist at times, but I was really brought up to enjoy music. And in our living room, we played music for entertainment. And so many people from our part of the world, the East Coast, used music as an entertainment. And it is the most entertaining thing ever. And if you can play and do that with your friends and family for your whole life, because even if your knees, go out, or your hips, as you're 90, you can still play music. It's forever. If you can do it, you have it forever. So whether you're gifting it to others as an artist or whether you're just enjoying it, there's no downside. So I don't know, as far as a career in music, I have no answers about that. I really couldn't tell you. It's such a different landscape, and the kids know better than me. I'm asking them how to do it. They can't ask me anything. Well, but I know good.
So many. Yeah, be good is step one, but although not necessarily required at this point, but that's another conversation. But I do know several great Canadian musicians whose songs were all over the radio, and Much Music, of course. Shout out to Much Music, who have other jobs. It's like music is the side hustle. Right? So there are so many prominent artists and love. They have another job where they pay their mortgage or their rent or whatever. And then, they're also a musician that you will pay bucks to see. So where is your Juno today, Melanie?
It's in my house. It's just in there. I don't have a
not-
shelf built or anything special.
You didn't
but
build a, yeah.
I do think I'm proud of it.
So it's on display somewhere in that house.
Kind of, I wouldn't say it's on display, but it's in the house.
If you invited me, because you should, if you invited me over for like a Christmas party or a holiday party or whatever.
You're invited.
Okay, thank you. Just remember to give me that address before you leave.
Okay.
If I walk to go to the washroom and I'm walking the hallways of your estate, like, will I encounter this Juno?
My mansion. You would see it probably when you come to my house. It would be somewhere.
Okay.
If you looked carefully, you would see it behind some other things somewhere.
Well, I'm gonna find it, and
Okay.
I'm gonna post a picture on Instagram when I find it here.
Great.
But why do you part ways with Sony?
Well, that's a sort of an interesting story. At the time, they were very, very focused on, an American domination. They had a big success with Celine Dion, and it was...
Never heard of her.
Yeah, never heard of her. And it was unusual because she was signed to the Canadian company, which a lot of times the Canadian signed acts have, it can be a barrier because the American people have their favorites and they have the bigger bucks and they have the bigger machine.
And they push that
and
artist.
How are they? Yeah. So it was almost, I don't know how it all happened, but through talent and amazing hard work and all the things, Celine Dion was an international breakthrough, signed directly to the Canadian company. Not a usual thing.
Right.
And that really enabled a lot of us who were coming just after her to have the benefit of, not only did the Canadian company have some resources at the time, which helped all of us and gave us an amazing experience because there was money to make videos and to send us across the, money, meaning our own money that we paid back, but it was there to get it going at least. That's all.
It's essentially a loan, right?
Correct.
Like, this is, again, I've only done this 1,800 times or whatever, but I still think it's it's not a fun fact. It's a interesting fact to set people to learn that, because you always hear about, I got signed to a big label like Sony, big freaking label. You're no indie artist, Melanie. You're on Sony Music there. And like, you hear about how they got money for the video and they can spend a lot of money on the video and they're whining and dining and the bottle service and this and that. But the little secret there that shouldn't be a secret, but is that, that gets billed to you. Like, you have to pay for that.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think people understand that. I didn't understand it for forever. Like, I just thought that was part of the deal to have you on the label.
Yeah, well, and people do different deals, and these can be long conversations, and it can be frustrating to go back and look at crappy deals or all of that. But at the same time, if your label doesn't have any money to work with in the first place, they don't have a lot that they can push. They can't spend much of your money ahead of time and bill it back to you if they don't have any. So you can look at it many different ways. I kind of look at it as, wow, what a time where they were throwing the money around. It turns out I got billed back to me, but to have it in the first place and to put it into your career was an advantage. And a lot of us benefited from that. But they were also very focused on American releases. I did have an American release that was not really, I would call it not really a release. So it wasn't really in stores, and it did come out, and there were posters around New York City, and that was about, it was sort of a lip service kind of a thing, because I wasn't signed directly. So there's a lot of weird little things that happen.
Geopolitics.
Well, anyway,
Sort of.
that's long. It's long and boring. But at that moment, Sony, I then was told, well, I don't know about your next record, if it's going to, we don't know if the Americans are going to get behind it. So we're not sure if we're going to do another one. And I had just won a Juno. We sold over 70,000 records. And I was kind of like, wow, this is a failure. This is a fail. Wow. Like, how could it have, like, I guess, Napster was a thing. So people were not as much selling 100,000 records or 300. It just wasn't happening quite as much. And as you know, nowadays, it's quite different. But all of that was hitting at once. And so it was considered to be not a success.
Okay, so where do you go from Sony then?
I made an independent record, but then Warner picked it up, which was really fun and great. That was Steve Kane and Steve Cody and the gang over there.
The Warner guys.
The Warner guys, who were wonderful. And then I did a record, a couple of records totally independently, but I was still working with Rick Nair in LA. And I've been playing for all these years. I still play, and people may or may not know that, and that's fine because I play for because I love it. And I have a gig coming up in Toronto.
Where's your gig?
That?
Of course.
January 10th at Hughes Room. I think we're...
I love Hughes Room, and I love Jane Harbury.
Yes, of course you do. She's wonderful. And this happens to be a benefit for the school. So anyone who comes and buys a ticket is helping kids in the GTA to receive barrier-free programming. And we're running out of tickets, so get your tickets quick because there aren't many. But it's a small venue. But I'll be playing with my band, my longtime band. Mike Borkowski will be there. Mike has been playing with Saga, as you mentioned earlier, and he's played with everyone, Carol Pope and everybody. Right. My brother Creighton Doane, who you mentioned Honeymoon Suite. He was in Honeymoon Suite. Alana Miles has played with Kim Mitchell. He's going to be there. Also, I have with me Dennis Mohammed, who you may know from Estero or... Jesse Cook he played with for many years. Just so many people I'm blanking, but they're seasoned, amazing Toronto players.
Okay, so January 10th?
January 10th, Saturday
Okay, and
night.
there are still some tickets available.
There are, but I don't think too many.
And that's a great cause. Like, very cool.
All the money that we raise that night will go towards Doane Music School.
Okay, amazing. I'm gonna play another song because I have you here. I feel like you're comfortable now, and I confirmed. I am actually recording, so that's an important detail here. And before I play, I'm just going to drop a name on you, and you just have to tell me if you know this name or not, okay? Only because we talked about Celine Dion, and we talked about so many music and everything. Do you know the name Paul Farberman?
I think I do.
Okay, I just wondered if you know, because Paul was working at Sony, ended up working for Celine directly, and he's become a very good friend, and he's a good FOTM, and he brought snow into the basement. So earlier this year. So yeah,
that's cool.
He's like, I'm going to deliver you snow. Like, hopefully not the snow we'll get soon here in Toronto, but
amazing.
And he did. Like, he's like, oh, here's snow, and he just sat down, and we had a pretty good chat about Informer and more. So I just wondered if you knew Paul Farberman.
Yes, I believe I do, and I just haven't heard his name in a while. But hello to you, Paul.
You know what you should say? That's a name I haven't heard in a long, long time.
I'm not saying it.
Here's a song I want to play for you. Another banger, Melanie. Come on, Still Desire You.
Oh, well, thank you.
Banger here. And fun fact, this reaches number 1 on the Much More Music Viewers' Choice Countdown.
It did, and it was on that Women in Music, one of those Women in Music
this was a big deal. Who did I just have on? I had Paula Cole on a few months ago, speaking of Lilith Fair, and this was a moment where these women in songs were huge.
They were big. People bought them. You went to the store and you purchased it.
What is it that we all suddenly discovered that, women can sing too?
Yeah, some of us always knew that.
Why didn't you tell us, for goodness sakes?
Yeah, I know. We should have mentioned it. We should have been trying harder. That's the thing we just weren't doing.
Come on, I had no idea. But anyways, this is a big one, and it was all over Canadian radio stations. Still Desire You.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Rick and I wrote this, and yeah, we had, I like to write a good song.
Come on, you're a very talented woman, doing lots of great stuff here. Now, so I want to ask you about, licensing music for television and in different shows and stuff. Like, you've had a number of your songs that have been placed in different TV shows, right?
Yeah, I've had some really good luck with that. It used to be something that was an income stream for sure for many artists. It's not really so much. They don't pay for it anymore, but they used to.
Why don't they pay for it anymore?
I think they don't have to. I don't really.
Right?
I don't really know exactly all the ins and outs. I should know that answer.
Is that a streaming thing?
Well, people don't pay for music. So then, something that might have been, we'd like to use this in 3 episodes of, I don't know, Brothers and Sisters. That was a show years ago or whatever. And it'll be, $20,000 per episode use or whatever.
Good Gifts was a song of yours on Brothers and Sisters.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It was. Good Gifts is a song I wrote for my mom. And, this song too.
We'll bring it up in a moment. Let me hear about your mom. Yeah.
Well, I wrote a song for my mom, and it got used in that Brothers and Sisters, but it also got used on an ad once, an American ad, and a wonderful singer, Glenn Lewis, sang. I didn't even sing it. It was like they did their own version, and it made so much money on this commercial that it obliterated my debt to Sony Publishing. It paid the debt off.
That's amazing, because you're the songwriter.
Because I'm the songwriter.
Yeah.
And usually, as we were talking about before, there's always such a debt built up of all these things they've spent money on. Oh, well, you recorded, and then you toured around, you had a tour bus, and then you did this and promotion, and you never can pay back these debts. But it made that much money on this song. I didn't really pocket a lot, but Sony did, and someone did, and it paid off that huge debt. Okay. And so
one less thing to worry about.
One less thing to worry about. It actually just meant that eventually I was making some money on my songs because the debt was obliterated.
Okay, so
good.
This song in the background, I'll bring it up a bit.
Sure.
So maybe you're not as real as the others, but I choose you over all my past lovers. They've come and they've gone, but I can always turn you on. I can't take my eyes off you.
Melanie, I can't take my eyes off you.
Wow.
What show? What show did this appear in?
That was in a really cool scene in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where the 2 women characters are they're dancing, and then they start to they go up into the air, they float upwards, which was I guess an iconic moment in television.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
I love it. Yeah.
So I'll just shout out real quickly, because I could ask you about all these things, but you've had a couple of songs that were on Party of 5.
Yeah.
I watched every episode.
Did you? It was a big hit show.
Big show, and it was right there on the Fox with I guess 90210 and all that was happening at the time, and it was a big show.
It was. Those were old times, though. It's quite a while ago, but they were big hit shows. Yes.
I know you don't have the specifics, but it seems to me like if Buffy was rebooted and it was on some streaming service, let's say it's on Netflix, okay? We'll make it up. So Buffy's now rebooting on Netflix with new actors, and they decide they're going to take that exact song and play it. You're telling me you don't get compensated the same way as you would have back in the day.
You'll get the call, it's gonna go to Netflix now. We still like to use your song, but we might just get someone else to write something if you don't want it. We can offer you $200. That's kind of the call you get.
Well, of course you know, but that's bullshit.
Oh yeah. It's not cool.
You don't seem angry like I am. Because you're numb to it.
Serenity now.
Serenity now. That's from Seinfeld, right? Serenity. Do you remember Frank Costanza? He used to celebrate Festivus.
Yes, I remember.
And listeners, there will be a Festivus episode of Toronto Mike with Elvis, and that is December 23rd. So stay tuned for that. That's going to happen. Hey, I want to ask you, I have a couple more things here. I'm quite enjoying this, but I want to just let you know, Melanie, and let the listeners know that it's the holiday season. Okay, we got Hanukkah's going on. Christmas is coming. We're like 9 days away or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not too late to go to retrofestive.ca, which is like, Canada's Christmas store, also pop culture store. But they have a bricks and mortar outlet. You can visit them in person in Oakville. But if you go to retrofestive.ca and use the promo code FOTM, you can save 10%. So much love to retrofestive.ca. It's not too late to get your leg lamps and be all set for the holiday season. Also, here's a pro tip for you. I can only imagine you have a drawer, a closet full of like old cables, old electronics, old devices. Am I right, Melanie?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's perfect. You're reading the script perfectly there. Okay. If you go to recyclemyelectronics.ca and you put in your postal code, you can find out where to drop that off to be properly recycled so those chemicals do not end up in our landfill.
Yeah, I do that in my neighborhood.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you to recyclemyelectronics.ca. And last but not least, I just want to give some love to Nick Ienes, who visited here on Friday when you sponsored Toronto Mike. It also comes with an episode, and I had a great chat with Nick, and he has 2 podcasts you should listen to. Building Toronto Skyline and Building Success. So thank you to Fusion Corp's Nick Ienes for helping to fuel the real talk. Please tell me, Melanie, about Warhorse.
I was in Warhorse.
Okay, there you go. And that. Okay, but this was a Mervish production. It was a very big deal. You were in Warhorse.
It was a beautiful
It's hard to say
show.
that. Say it fast.
I was in Warhorse. Or you were in. That's harder. Yeah. Okay.
Go on, please.
It was a beautiful production. They did a Toronto cast when they did a run in Toronto, which was about a year and a couple of months. And I auditioned for the part of the song woman, or I think I was called. And it was already a hit on Broadway, so people were auditioning and knowing already a lot about the show, a beautiful story. And I got the part and decided to see if I could add in 8 shows a week to teach at school on my day off, all the things. 2 little kids. It was kind of a lot, but a wonderful, amazing cast, beautiful experience.
Amazing. And I also, because I was looking at all the awards, and I know I can find your Juno when I'm at your Christmas party. If it's okay with you, tell me, don't do this. See, people tell me, and I don't get invited to much, to be honest, but they'll be like, oh yeah, we're having a party at 8 o'clock. Okay. Blair Packham, who does invite me to stuff at his house, he'll be like, we're having a party at 8 o'clock. I am wired as such that if you say a party's at 8, I'm actually there at 8. Okay.
Right.
And I show up at 8 and I'm the only one there.
I have that.
So
problem.
you have it too. So I said it to Blair, I feel like, speaking of Seinfeld, I feel like Kramer, why don't you tell me the time you want me to arrive?
Right.
Like, don't say 8 if everyone's coming at 9:15.
Well, it's like a cool thing. I'm not very cool. I'm as square as can be, so I'm going to be on time. And I like to be professional. And even if it's a social thing, I'm still like, but what if they really did want me there on time? And then I'm not. I have to take a chance and be a loser and be on time.
Well,
so that's
we're the
what
same.
I do. That's what I do.
This is why we're hitting it off here. We both
are.
have beautiful blue eyes and we both arrive on time. So I just feel like if you're having this Christmas party and you want me to attend so I can find your Juno, because there's another award I'm going to be hunting for, just tell me what time you want me to arrive. Like, don't say we're having a party at 8 if from 8 to 9, I'm just watching you prepare food or something.
Yeah, really.
Just give me the time to arrive.
Totally.
Thank you. Okay, that's all I ask. This is the new rule for 2026. Just tell me the time you want me to arrive, especially because I often bike to things, so there is no traffic or whatever. It's sort of like I know to the minute what time I'm going to be at your door.
Right.
Yeah, I just can tell you exactly what minute I'll be there. You won Best International Actress at the New York International Independent Film and Video Festival.
You're really digging around for things.
Well, you won this. Like, I don't know, New York International Independent Film and Video Festival. It could just be some guy in his basement who made this up. But I get a feeling, this is, by the way, for Black Swan. Is that an actual award I would find in your house if you invited me over for the Christmas dinner?
It's not an award in the house, but it did actually happen. And a Black Swan it was a movie I was in, and it was before the other Black Swan. So that's kind of funny. It was a Canadian independent film, and also funny. It aired on I don't know, some late night, maybe CTV or something. It happened like for a couple of years. It was just on every night at midnight or something. Forever. I did good work in it. Michael Riley was my co-star. Michael Riley, if you know the actor, very, very well-known Canadian star, and luckily got to be opposite him in this thing, and it was actually a really fun experience.
Well, you wanted I think that's a prestigious award that you won there.
It's kind of cool. Thank you for that.
Well, I'm going to be looking for it somewhere in that house now. So speaking of actors here, so Gary Sinise, what encounters have you had in your life with the legendary actor Gary Sinise?
Quite a few. We're friends, and
Lieutenant Dan and you are friends.
We're friends. He was working in Canada at the time of Adam's Rib hoo-ha, and went and bought the record, saw the video on Much Music, went and bought the record, found out I was playing in Vancouver, and sent a note to say, we're having our cast party, come bring your band and come over after. I mean, I don't know. I don't travel in circles like that. So it was I was like, I don't know. No one, it said from Gary. No one had his name either. It was just like someone got mixed up.
Right.
Someone named Gary. I was like,
but this is post Forrest Gump, because you're late 80s.
Oh yeah,
90s,
this is
late
like
90s.
2000 or something.
Okay.
I don't know what, but right around all that stuff.
Okay.
Maybe 99. I don't know. Around there. And so we went and they were finishing that movie Reindeer Games.
Right.
So it was Ben Affleck was there and Charlize Theron and Gary saying, I love your music. And it was so neat. It was really neat. And then later, I made a record and he became a partner in the record release, which was really fun. So that was the record that had Still Desire You on it. So we liked this record a lot. But then he also has a band, the Lieutenant Dan Band. I don't know if you know that. He does USO shows and travels all over the States, but goes to aircraft carriers and does a show and goes all over the world. And I went and played in his band for a little while. Like maybe for 1 year I would go and do that. One time he said, well, I need you to come this weekend. And I said, well, going across the border kind of sucks. And I don't have a visa. It's just a gig. Like it's a one-nighter. I don't know if I can do it. And he said, hang on, just let me, I'm going to send you something. And I got a letter from the Pentagon that said, yeah, Melanie Doane is going across the border for this date to play with Gary Sinise, blah, 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 which I had never had a nice Pentagon letter like that at the time. So that was sort of, interesting.
That's all very interesting here. So you've been wonderful. How was this experience for you, Melanie?
This with you here at your studio?
This last hour that we've spent together.
The best. I'm loving it.
I like to tell listeners how the cake gets baked, okay? So can I just disclose to listeners that 26 minutes into this chat, my laptop basically coughed up a hairball and said, I'm not recording anymore. We literally had to stop. This is the second time in the history of Toronto Mike that happened, but this time I did recover it very quickly, unlike the Lauren Honickman incident of earlier this year. But what this tells me is this laptop, I believe, is nearing the end of its life. This is a sad time for any independent podcaster because these laptops are not cheap. So I'm just realizing that I'm looking at a future major expense.
I am in the same boat at my place. I was looking at refurbs. I'll send you a link.
Send me a link here because I cannot afford to lose a minute of my conversation with Melanie Doane. And to be specific, it happened just so in the middle of the Blair Packham shout out when we were talking about Bob Ezrin is when this thing conked out, and then I caught it pretty quickly. But so when we pick it up with the Bob Ezrin Blair Packham connection, it's like a second session. But I was thinking with you how I wanted to close. I am a massive fan of Blue Rodeo. What do you think of Blue Rodeo?
love Blue Rodeo, and have some lovely stories and friendship moments with many of those players, particularly Jim and Greg, who have championed me over the years in different ways. But they're wonderful.
Well, okay, I'm going to play a song of you and Jim actually
Great.
here in a moment. But I had scheduled to visit me yesterday, Michelle McAdory, and she came down with like a cold or a little flu or something. So we're going to reschedule it. She's been over before, but we're going to have her back on. I love Michelle McAdory. But the first time I discovered the wonder that is Michelle McAdory is the video for Try.
Oh,
She's the star.
right.
Because she was dating Greg
forgot
Keeler.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always love just because she's awesome. But the I hope you'll play her song when they did that the tribute Neil Young album, and they did Aurora Borealis.
Crash Vegas?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Right?
So absolutely. So we will do that. And
Make sure you play that song because it's.
I might cut you out introducing it as well, since I actually did record this. But so I discovered her Try, and then of course Crash Vegas and Inside Out and all that, fantastic. But I recently had Colin Cripps on the program, and Colin Cripps was in that band, and that was a wild chat. But here's a question that you can't answer honestly, so it's more for the listeners. But I was on I think some Reddit thread or something, and it was who do you prefer, Jim Cuddy or Greg Keeler? And it's, for most of us, it's it's like saying, who do you like better, Lennon or McCartney? Like, they're both essential components in this wonderful thing. But it is amazing that this band has these two songwriters with distinct styles where you could be like a Cuddy guy or a gal, or you could be a Keeler guy or gal, or you can enjoy how they come together. Blue Rodeo, I'd say now that the Tragically Hip sadly is no more, Blue Rodeo, I think, is probably this country's biggest active band. What say you?
It seems like, I mean, there's some women solo artists that I'm going to throw them in there because, the Sarah McLachlan and the Jan, and
of course,
I mean, these are iconic also artists. So anyway,
we should put a caveat in there that apparently Rush is back. So like I used to phrase this when Rush was coming, although it is, it's one member of Rush has passed on, but it's still a reunion tour for Rush. But here's the song I want to play and just spend a little more time talking about Jim before we take our photo by Toronto Tree. Move over, Greg Keeler. Cuddy's got a new dance partner here. Songbird. Beautiful.
Thank you. Well,
so, tell me about this project.
It's everyone's dream to sing with Jim, so I feel very lucky to have recorded with him. I also played fiddle on his first solo album. I don't know if you know that. I'm the sideman fiddle player on his first Jim Cuddy record, which is another proud moment for me. But the reason Jim even knew about me is I happened to be on a gig with Greg in Nova Scotia at a songwriting circle in Cape Breton, and Greg and I hit it off because he was like, jump in, and I was playing and joining in. And I think then he told Jim, you should check out this kid playing whatever. And that got me a gig with Jim, and then we've remained friends. So kind of cool.
Very cool here. Now, Ann Lindsay is the current fiddler for Jim Cuddy.
And she's a friend of mine and someone I love and admire.
I have to check quickly here. I might be wearing an Ann Lindsay t-shirt right now.
Are you?
She was here earlier this year, and she gave me a t-shirt, and I wear it all the time. It's, Ann Lindsay. She's fantastic.
She's wonderful. And so when Jim's first album came out, it was really an exciting thing, but it was the same moment that Adam's Rib came out, almost pretty much. And that same Junos, backstage at the Junos, I was walking out of the press room having just won a Juno, and Jim was walking in having just got his for that album, and we had a hug or whatever.
Wow.
And that was the timing. So it was not good timing. I couldn't really and then Anne was right in there and has been there ever since, which is amazing. And she and Jim, by the way, are big supporters of the work I do in the school. So I have to tell them a public thank you for all the they're right there to say we love what you're doing. Or Jim came to school last year and played at Uke Day with 700 kids and performed with us, and Anne shows up at the concerts. So these are good friends.
No, it warms my heart to hear this. That's fantastic here. And Songbird, of course, is a Fleetwood Mac song.
Yeah.
And this album, which is, we're going back a bit here, but 2007, is called 1,000 Nights. Oh, my daughter's calling from Montreal. Should I answer it?
Yes,
No, I'll get it later. But
you can.
All right, hold on. Let's see.
Family first.
I told you off the top I don't edit these things here. Yeah. Oh, it's okay. I already missed it. I'll call her back in like 5 minutes. But she's coming home soon.
Yay.
Because she's got like one more exam, I think, and then she's coming back for the holidays. I haven't seen her since. She was here for Thanksgiving, so that was the last time I saw her.
Long time. Oh,
long time for my beautiful second-born Michelle. But
yay,
she's coming home. Okay, so very cool. A lot of great covers on this album, 1,000 Nights.
Yeah, and it's for bedtime. It was created. I've got a mixture of originals and covers that I never done before, covers, but it's for putting on when my kids were little. At that time, it was for putting on at night. I was inspired by Sean Colvin and her Lullaby album, and I didn't want it to be lullabies, but I wanted these songs to be reinvented as lullabies, so that's why I did that one.
Remind us again how we can see you at Hughes Room. I know it is January 10th, but how do people get tickets? Yeah,
you can come to the Hughes Room website is very user-friendly. And I think I have a link on my Instagram as well, Melanie Doane Instagram. Come and join me there, or wherever you find your tickets. But I think they're just at the Hughes Room website, Hughes Room Live.
HughesRoomLive.com, and people should follow you on Instagram to get the latest and greatest from Melanie Doane.
Great.
When will you see Mary Jo Eustace next?
Soon.
Will I see her at your Christmas party?
Yeah, at the Christmas. Don't forget to come.
Oh, you can.
I'm the one 7:05.
I'll be there at 7:05 if you tell me 7:05.
That's what time.
Although it's actually worse than that, because I feel like I automatically build in to be somewhere 10 minutes early. So like you say, the party's at 8.
It's a real problem, and and yet I'm proud of it.
See,
right?
I want to be proud of it, but to me, it's really awful when you'll tell me it's a 7:00 party, and I'm there at 6:50, and you have that look at the door, and you're like, "Oh, you're early," and it's like, not only am I 10 minutes early from the time you told me, but no one else is showing up for another hour.
Yeah, but you have to walk the block. You have to walk around the block until the actual assigned time. You still are going to be the only one, but you can't come earlier than
Bike
that
around
time.
The block. Now, it's funny you said that, because I thought you were going to tell me I have to walk around the home and look for that Juno Award.
Well, you can help do some cleaning and look for the Juno Award.
Does your ukulele have a name? You brought it, but...
it's not got a name. I don't know. I'm not...
Yeah. Do you want to hold it for the photo by Toronto Tree?
Yes. Yeah, we'll take it out for the photo.
There's another song I quite like, and I've seen him perform it live even. Eddie Vedder's got a song I quite like that he plays on the ukulele.
Yeah, he did a whole album.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's into it.
Eddie Vedder should be at your school performing. Maybe I'll make a few calls.
If you wouldn't mind. I'm always looking for the next great collaboration. Of course, right now it's Ron Sexsmith, and go watch that video. If you haven't seen us on the streetcar, it's
Sunny.
truly a love letter to the city. It's beautiful.
I think that's beautiful. I think Ron Sexsmith is an angel from heaven.
He sure is.
Last year at this time, I was having him on because Taylor Swift's future husband has a podcast, and Taylor Swift's future husband speaking of Fleetwood Mac, did a duet with Stevie Nicks of a song written by Ron Sexsmith, and this was like a minor hit. Like, so, and it went to number 1 on the holiday charts, and Ron Sexsmith said, this was about 1 year ago, he said it was the first time he was number 1 on any chart. And Travis Kelce, I couldn't remember the freaking guy's name.
Yes,
so Travis Kelce and Stevie Nicks covered Ron Sexsmith 1 year ago.
Yeah. Ron, that's going to happen to Ron every few years because he writes beautiful songs.
He writes beautiful songs.
That's why keep writing, everyone.
Never give up on your dreams. And congrats to you on a great music career, still performing. You're at Hughes Room Jantan, and for this wonderful work you're doing to teach our kids about music, and the show you had on CBC with Bob Ezrin. Melanie, I'm glad we met.
So nice to be here. Thank you so much.
And that brings us to the end of our 1819th show. Go to torontomike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs, and much love to all who made this possible. That is retrofestive.ca. Use that promo code FOTM right now. Have you ever met Gino Vanelli?
No. Sure like to.
That's on your bucket list. I'll bring him to your Christmas party.
Love it.
Great Lakes Brewery. I'll bring some GLB. You're bringing some home with you. Palma Pasta. Don't leave without your lasagna. Nick Ianni's and recyclemyelectronics.ca. And of course, Ridley Funeral Home. Brad is here Thursday for another episode of Life's Undertaking. See you all tomorrow with God Guy, Drew Marshall.